notice.
Yeah, you should try one.
Defusing a bomb.
But I think the other reason we didn't do well on Greenlight is because the game didn't really look presentable back then. The
Oh,
art was not up to par, and the game was still really basic. It didn't look anything like it does now.
so it's evolved a lot.
Oh yeah, like all these star designs, for example. You know how each star looks different. That was not there. The stars looked a lot different, I think, back then.
So it's a little bit corny, but you can say the game evolved with your friendship.
Yeah, a lot of things evolve with friendship.
Oh, polar vortex. Let's see what that does to a bomb.
Yeah, you can kind of tell when I was working on it because the polar vortex was pretty much all they'd talk about in the news back then. Oh, the polar vortex is bringing all the cold air, you know.
Oh wow, corrosive acid. It's all over the place. So polar vortexes and corrosive air was a daily concern for you at the time.
I wouldn't necessarily say that. But it was an inspiration, I guess. The special powers in endless mode basically fall into two categories. Ones that are really good at destroying bombs, and that are good at kind of gaining back time. So
Ah,
I think
okay.
the Gatling gun here is more suited towards destroying bombs.
It feels so just like being in endless mode. It's so freeing because I know my tendency. I'm that player that like that like hoards every single potion until the end of the game. Then I'm like, oh, I guess that could have been useful earlier.
Yeah, in endless mode, I think it's generally a pretty good strategy to save up your special powers until you need them.
Yeah, I just use them all at once.
Yeah, a lot of people do. Have you used the orange one yet?
It's actually charging up now.
Okay, that one's really fun. But yeah, sometimes, 3 bombs will drop from the ceiling and it'll be like, oh no, I just used this power and now I have to try and defuse them.
That's interesting because when you're dealing with randomness, how random is randomness? Can you make it truly random and still have a good gameplay experience? Because sometimes, you can get dealt a really, really bad card and everybody's like, oh, the game cheated me. So, is that something you have to keep in mind?
Yeah. Dealing with randomness is pretty important for basically any match 3 game because, if you make it completely random, sometimes you'll get like endless chain reaction combos, and sometimes you'll just get a board where there's no matches.
And surprisingly, endless success isn't the most fun thing.
Oh, what do you mean by that?
Endless chain reactions, just the game kind of
Yeah.
playing itself.
Yeah, it just gets boring and, it's like, oh, I didn't really deserve that. But making it so that with each new stars that spawn, there's not really any. There's generally not a match that happens right away, but there's always a match that can be made. I think that's the most rewarding.
And I'm using a giant laser.
Yep. So you can just drag that across all the stars and stuff.
That's cool.
Yeah, I made this special power with touchscreens in mind because I thought it would be really fun on my phone.
So, how does the how do I put this? How does the endless version, I'm sorry, the PC version differ from that on Android?
Feature-wise, they are almost identical, except the PC version has a level editor.
Oh, okay. So
The
was that difficult to do?
Um, Not particularly, especially because I needed to use it myself to create the levels. You know, when you have to use something that much, you try and make it as best as you can.
Very true. Oh, I think I'm hearing a callback to the Tetris theme here. Just a little bit.
I'll have to
Might
listen to those side by side. I
it,
don't think I ever noticed.
it, it, it just might be like a tone, but the original Tetris theme it sounds a tiny bit like.
Okay.
Oh, so you kind of tried to with the randomness ensure that you always had a match.
Yep, there's always a match on the board, and if there's not a match, it will do a chain reaction.
Ah, okay. Well, what will it make the chain reaction out of?
Basically, if it can't find a match, it'll just spawn like stars that will make a match.
Ah, okay. So, how have people reacted to the game thus far? You released it, you made a game. What happened next?
Surprisingly, not a lot. There's a lot that we don't know about marketing still, and I think that's true for a lot of indie developers.
That's why here.
We brought the game to a trade show called Gamers Rhapsody back in September, and that was one of the most fun experiences I've had with it, I think.
Oh, really?
Yep, we set up a table there, and we had a demo, and we got people to play the game, and got a lot of good feedback from our playtesters there.
So, when did you fully release Star Reaction and Star Reaction HD? Was there a time difference?
They released on the same day.
Oh, awesome. Because
Yep.
I was talking to the developers behind Action Hank. You may have heard of them. Yesterday, and they were saying like the day before they released on the day they released on early access, like a few hours earlier, they were like the Mac build just wasn't working, and so
Oh no.
they had to fix that like ASAP. And it was
Yeah,
right
that's
before
always...
it was right before Man vs. Game was supposed to play their game.
Oh, that's
So,
terrifying.
yeah, it was fixed in time, but yeah,
Wow.
that's always. So so you guys had a stable launch.
Yep, luckily the game uses Java, so it's pretty much the same code for every platform. So I didn't really have to change anything for the Mac version, just a couple specific things. And it just runs okay on Linux. I mean, I haven't tested it too much, but it works on my VM.
So if you could go back and change anything about how you developed the game or etc., would you?
Change anything about the game itself, or how I developed it, like how I approached it?
Both.
I think I'd probably go into it the same way. You know, if I was back, you know, in 2011 with the knowledge I had in 2011, I'd probably go about it the same way. But if I had to change anything right now, I'd definitely try and work on the tutorials. They're too wordy, they're too long, even though you can skip them, because if you skip them, then you just don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I've become a little bit guilty of that. When I was younger, I'd read all the tutorials. I'd be like, why don't people read tutorials? They're great. And then I was like, oh, time.
Yeah. Yeah, there's just too many, and I don't feel like they're effective, because some people just, especially at Gamers Rhapsody, when I actually got to watch people playing the tutorials and playing the game, I noticed that some people would just, you know, keep clicking okay, 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 without actually reading the tutorials.
That's the big thing I hear from game developers. Nobody reads the tutorials, and it's the most annoying thing ever. Like, game developers seem to be the only ones who read each other's tutorials.
Yeah. It's probably true.
So that's so you released that. Do you have any future plans with Star Reaction?
There's a couple changes I'd like to make to the game. I think if I don't know, there's just a lot of ideas floating around, and I'm not sure if they would make it into Star Reaction or if they'd make it into some kind of sequel. I'm just not really sure, so I'm kind of keeping it on the back burner. Like,
Okay,
I think if I made a sequel, I would want to consolidate all the game modes into one, maybe.
that would be interesting.
Yeah, kind of more of a dynamic game, maybe it
Permadeath.
would play. Oh yeah, it's going to be a roguelike with permadeath, and it's going to have a crafting system, all that. But no, I think the gameplay would be a lot like endless mode, but then maybe sometimes pre-made puzzles would appear.
That would be definitely an interesting way of approaching it.
Yeah, that's what I think too.
So, star reaction aside, and I've actually it was a very pleasant surprise because I like match threes, and I was like, here's another one, and then it turned out to be way better than I ever thought it would actually be.
Thanks. A lot of people have said that this is, almost as good as Bejeweled or better than Candy Crush. Not
Uh,
to toot my own horn or anything, but I really like feedback like that.
I will say that I definitely feel better after playing this than after playing Candy Crush.
Yeah, the thing about this game is that it doesn't suck the soul out of you.
Can you put that on the box? Does not suck out your soul.
I wish I had boxes to put it on.
So, what are the studio's plans in the future?
Right now, we're throwing around a bunch of ideas and trying to make some smaller games because, Star Reaction took us a long time to make a polished, finished product, and we want to kind of reduce the time that it takes for us to make something and for that thing that we make to get in the hands of people who want to play it. So we're going to try making some smaller games, and the first of which is called Atmocopter, and we actually have a demo of it on our website right now. It's a little game where you control a helicopter robot, and you go around a level pushing buttons and carrying things and avoiding danger.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah. It's really fun. There's a new demo coming on Monday.
Oh, awesome. So, that's Atmocopter, right? And
Yep.
can you link to that? And I'll also link to that when we put this up on YouTube.
Sure, I can do that.
The tube of views.
And the thing about Atmocopter is I tried something that I
Okay, one thing
kind of... Oh,
I
sure.
have to say, the little sound effect you get when you like mess up a piece of your diffusing makes you feel so bad.
Yeah, and then it just kind of goes back to where it started, really sullenly.
It's like sad and angry at you at the same time.
I don't remember what I made that sound effect out of. I think it's a combination
Broken
of two or
dreams,
three
that's what you made
things.
out of.
That sounds about right.
So, back to Atmocopter.
Yeah, the thing I tried with Atmocopter is I learned with Star Reaction that people don't like reading tutorials, right?
Yeah.
So I made the title screen of Atmocopter into kind of a playable tutorial. So as you move around the title screen, it kind of informs you, hey, you can, press up to fly. Hey, you can use the spacebar to grab things.
I've actually been seeing more interactive, like main menus and tutorials than in recent years than usual.
I have too.
Portal 2, they had that little hub. Jump Jet Rex. We're seeing a lot of games that have the whole interactive menu thing. I think it's a cool trend.
Yeah, me too. It really teaches people how to play the game before they play the game. And that's really invaluable,
Yeah.
Because then I don't have to make a tutorial level. I don't have to, expect people to read a big wall of text.
It's a safe place.
Yeah.
So, in the future, we've got Atmocopter, Star Reaction HD. You can get on itch.io. You can get it free on your Android device, as the main menu tells you. I wish more independent developers did that. Like, tell me where I can get all the things, where are all the places. If there's a sequel.